It's always somebody in a worse situation than you. So you might as well just go for it. It ain't like ain't nobody perfect. So if you got to figure it out, just figure it out later. So that's kind of the mentality.
That's heavy right there. That's good. Attention, all my creatives. I don't care what kind of creative you are. I need you to listen to me very closely, all right? Or maybe you're just trying to connect with some creatives. I need you to remember this name, Maker's Gym. You guys, Maker's Gym is a new creative co-working concept, the dopest I have ever seen in my life. No exaggeration. Look, it gives its members access to state-of-the-art production studios, production equipment. You get training and educational classes. You get vast co-working amenities, and even better than that, a network of up-and-coming talent and businesses. So make sure you look them up, Maker's Gym. I won't create anywhere else. Check them out, y'all. Welcome to The Dash. You know The Dash is that tiny line between your life start date and end date. It's your story, the chapters in your book, your journey. Get ready for real conversations with real people telling real stories about the realities of failure, setbacks, and success. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. We're rolling. Let's go. The Dash in 3, 2, 1.
Today we have Chris Harmon with us, owner of Harmland Visions, which is a production and entertainment company, multimedia. Literally, this man is a one-stop shop. And so we're going to jump right into how you got to where you are, what you do. So tell everybody real quick exactly what Harmland Visions is.
All right. So Harmland Visions is a multimedia production and entertainment company. So we specialize in video and photo on one side, but then we also have DJ, lighting, photo booths, special effects. So anything that you would have for a wedding, a high school event, or a corporate event is where we fall in. So
which is everything.
Well, I won't say everything because I don't want people to think like, oh, we do floral and catering, things like that. It is strictly entertainment and production. A lot of audio, visual, anything that requires talent. That's kind of where our lane is.
Okay. How did Harmland Visions come about? Look what they say. It was all a dream.
Man.
Because you were HBCU grad, but you kind of had the mind of a hustler for a long time. So let's back up. Okay. How old were you when you first realized that you were going to be a business owner?
Man, I don't even know. That a business owner didn't come in until I got to Dallas in 2010.
Because you're originally from where?
Louisiana.
Okay, so you're originally from Louisiana. So when did you realize that I'm a hustler? Like I like money.
So my dad is a hustler, full-time hustler, man. He worked all day. A lot of pros and cons to that. But the one thing I did learn from him was to work.
Okay.
I was a writer in junior high. So I used to always write stories and pass the stuff around, and I got ADHD, so I hate reading sometimes. So I love writing.
Maybe that's my problem too. Okay.
So at some point, the only way for me to understand my own stories were to film them. So in high school, we would have like little things where we would film short plays and stuff like that.
This is at school?
This is at school.
Okay.
And then going into college, I knew I wanted to major in film.
Okay.
Grambling, unfortunately, did not have a film program, but they had mass communication where I was able to work in TV news and film football games and stuff like that.
Okay.
But because they did not have a film program,
Mm-hmm.
I had to film my own stuff. When I started doing music videos and just regular skits and stuff like that.
Okay, now hold on. I want to back up a little bit because you said in high school you guys were filming. You said in college you're filming. Do you have a camera at this point?
And no, I didn't get a camera until after I graduated college. So the cameras that we were using were owned by the schools.
Okay.
Yeah. So matter of fact, going back into high school, the cameras that they had were the cameras they used to film football and basketball games.
These aren't you ain't that old. These aren't the ones that sit on the
those.
shoulder.
It was those because
Okay.
I was on the basketball team in high school, and
You were on the basketball team?
Yeah, man. What you trying to say?
I just didn't know that you were an athlete, bro.
Yeah,
Cool.
man. So my sophomore year, I didn't play varsity my sophomore year. So they took me on the trips to film.
Okay.
And when I was filming the game, they fired me from filming because you're supposed to just film the game up and down the court. I would zoom in when somebody was getting ready to dunk. So I would like zoom in and try to like make it a dramatic shot. And that ain't what they wanted. So they fired me from that.
This is high school?
In high school.
So you got fired your first filming job.
Fired, man.
Hold up, you all trying to get their faces.
Man, yeah, I'm just trying to like make a highlight film. I'm like zooming in. So when they dunk, I zoom in on their face and like try to make it cool. And it was bad because my dad, who's a hustler, was known at my high school because he would sell pizzas to them. And he tried to get my job back. That ain't work.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's very interesting. First filming job. You actually got fired.
Yeah,
but you didn't give up. You didn't give up.
Nah, so when I got to college, I had free range and
shouts out to the Graham fam, by the way. It's a lot of y'all.
All day. It's a lot of us, man. We all over the place, man. Yeah. Shout out to Southern University. I'm sorry I just took that. Anyway.
Okay.
But so in college, because they didn't have that film program, I think that was like the point that was able to help me figure out who I was. Because when you're handed something and someone tells you like, hey, this is what you can do. You can film football games. Mm-hmm. You can film news, but that's it. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just do that. But in your mind, you're like, no, I'm a storyteller. Like, I want to do this. Mm. So, hey, can I borrow the camera today? I'm about to go shoot blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's just taking those extra steps of doing that. Yeah. And whenever you put into this box of not being able to do that, that really determines, who you are. Mm-hmm. So, graduated college. I went back home to Monroe, Louisiana, and I had to work 2 full-time jobs. And this is the part where I think my life started to change because I was working at JP Morgan Chase, which is Chase Bank, but the corporate office from 6:30 in the morning to 3 in the evening. Okay. I get off work and then I go to Accent, which is a call center for Boost Mobile, and I work from 3:30 p.m. to midnight. So I was working 2 full-time jobs and neither one of them had anything to do with film or production or anything. And
but you still have film and production in the back of your mind.
In the whole time, the reason why I did that was because I was saving up my money to go to get a master's in film at a different school because Grambling didn't have a film program.
Okay. So I got to stop right there because I think that's very important. A lot of times when we have a goal in mind, we often think, I'm not going to do anything that's outside of the realm of the dream. You working at a call center and working for the bank or corporate America had nothing to do with film. But you knew you needed that money.
I needed the money. I'm about to mess your head up on some stuff.
Mess my head up. I love it. Okay.
So, and at this point, none of this had anything to do with being a business owner.
Okay.
At the time, and I can tell you off the top of my head, NYU, University of Florida, University in Austin, UCLA, USC, all of these big schools is what I was trying to get my master's in for film. So I had to sit out after I graduated. I sat home for a year, collected all these checks. And when it got almost to the time to start registering for a master's, something clicked and I went and bought my own camera instead of using that money for tuition. For school.
How much you pay for your first camera?
$3,500. $3,500 for my first camera, and that camera is like trash now. So
is it?
Not even usable.
Well, let me not bring up my little $300 camera I got at the house.
No. So I'm glad I did that because then what ended up happening was I ended up using the film projects that I did with no film experience. This is all mass comm, which is 2 different levels. And I sent in my demo packages to get into those schools, and all of the schools declined me except one, which was Full Sail University, but they were taking anybody at this point.
Okay, pause. So you get fired in high school from film.
Got fired.
You get declined by all the film schools you applied to, except for the one that really just needed somebody to pay a tuition. And then you still didn't quit.
I still didn't quit. I ended up quitting Accent, that call center job, and I got a job at TV8 News, KNOE. It's a CBS affiliated TV station in Monroe.
Okay, Louisiana.
And when I got hired, they put me on the teleprompter. So I got a college degree, $8 an hour on the teleprompter. Her name is the woman that was the news anchor. Her name was Miss Bonnie. One day I was there for like 3 months, and she had asked me like, what do you go to school for? What do you want to do? And I was like, I got a degree in mass comm. And she was like, well, why are you working a teleprompter? So she actually got me to start filming at the TV station. But in that situation, there were people above me.
Okay.
So until they moved out the way,
Mm-hmm.
I could never go up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this time, everything started going digital. This was 2010.
Okay.
So you're filming on SD cards and mini SD cards in your real world. But at the TV station, they were still filming on tapes.
Mm-hmm.
The big guy who's making $60,000 an hour $60,000 a year, has no clue on how to shoot in HD. And until he moves out the way, I can't ever go up.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck in Louisiana.
So you either need him to get fired or
promoted, fired, something.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go up. No matter how good I was, I could not go up.
Yeah.
Still, entrepreneurship is not even in my mind.
Yeah.
My friend who lives in Dallas, man, is a guy named Sean Phillips. He called me one day and he was like, man, how's Louisiana treating you? And he knew the answer. I was like, man, I hated it. So
That's honest.
I hated it, man. So he was like, man, if you come to Dallas, I can get you a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And once you're in the door, we can figure out all this stuff later on.
Okay.
Fast forward, man, I come to Dallas, I get the job at Enterprise. And as soon as I get there, I had $500 to my name. My rent was $541.
So you needed $41 more.
I needed $41 to pay my rent. I got a camera, my camera that I had, and I started filming Kwanzaa Fest. The artists who were performing at Kwanzaa Fest, I was filming their performances for $50 a pop.
Which is a concert.
It was a big concert. Yeah. So, and I don't even know nothing about Kwanzaa Fest. I just showed up, got on Craigslist, and seen a bunch of artists like saying, I need somebody at Kwanzaa Fest. So I ended up booking like 5 of them to film their performances. Got the money, paid my rent. My first day at the job, one of the coworkers was like, man, you saved Sean. I'm like, what that supposed to mean? Well, when they refer somebody, they get a $1,500 check. So I'm like, man, so he got me to come to Dallas so he could get this $1,500 bonus check for referring.
And you out here nickel and dime.
And I'm out here like trying to
get your rent.
Trying to get my rent.
Yeah.
And and it's a funny story. I tell people that all the time, but at that point now, this is the first time like I'm in Dallas and it's a bunch of different people. So a lot of the up and coming artists and people that were in Dallas at that time in 2010 through 2013, they wouldn't work with me because they didn't know me. Mm-hmm. I'm from Louisiana. I would try to do music videos for everybody for free. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't respond to DMs, wouldn't respond to nothing. So I'm just like out here like, man, I don't even know what to do no more.
Yeah.
At the same time, while I'm trying to find myself, I'm learning how to run a business through Enterprise.
Which, by the way, side note, a lot of people sleep on Enterprise. I had a friend that is a part of recruiting.
Absolutely.
So they always say if somebody has ever worked at Enterprise, they have the best training for entrepreneurs and business owners. Like there's only 2 in Enterprise is one of the top training.
Yeah, I would believe that everybody who went through Enterprise would probably never go back to Enterprise, but every single one of them came out knowing how to run a business.
That's good.
Like you learn everything from profit and losses to marketing. Like we used to just go to insurance companies and just bring them donuts and cookies and stuff. And you never understood, like, I'm supposed to be renting cars. So why am I going to the insurance company and bringing them donuts? It just didn't register that that's how you build relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
So taking those traits, I started to do that in the wedding industry. I worked for a couple companies that had me film weddings for them. And I started to learn, like, you can make a lot of money filming weddings.
Yeah.
And that is when the beginning of everything took off. In 2013, I had high blood pressure, and I'm a smaller guy, but I was gaining weight because I would work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Enterprise, get off, and I have to edit videos that I just shot over the weekend. And everybody knows, man, people want their videos right away.
Oh, absolutely.
So you trying to do all of this, but you don't have time to cook. You don't have time to work out. And then the doctor was like, you got to make a choice. Either you quit your full-time job and you do this, and run with that, but you need to work out, or you quit this side hustle, focus on enterprise, and then, have a healthy life.
Right.
And I couldn't.
At this time, when you're at this crossroad, how old are you?
I was 24 at this time.
24 years old, and you were literally making a life-changing decision.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Whether to choose the I guess the guaranteed money,
the for sure money,
or passion,
or passion. And while this is happening, all of my friends, my frat brothers, everybody's living their life. Everybody at Park Ave every weekend. Everybody's like enjoying. They going to birthday parties,
and you living like a 50-year-old.
And I'm like, I'm
like
just bad off. Don't know what I want to do. But it just was something in my head.
So, what decision did you make in that moment when the doctor gives you an ultimatum?
I didn't make the decision then.
Okay.
I went back home, and I talked to my mom. And I was like, "Hey, Mom, I'm about to quit my job, and if this don't work out, I know people worse off than me. I can just come back home and I'll just start it off. It's always somebody in a worse situation than you, so you might as well just go for it. It ain't like ain't nobody perfect, so if you got to figure it out, just figure it out later. So that's kind of the mentality.
That's heavy right there. That's good.
That's what I felt in that moment. But then what actually happened was, to confirm it, I had went back to work. Won't say the lady's name, but my manager at the time, who I felt might have been racist, maybe. She accused me of doing something that I didn't do, and she blasted me in front of everybody in the room. It just went off yelling. And when she got done, because I didn't really know what to say because I didn't do it, but she was super mad. You kind of like froze for a second. The person who really did it walked in and was like, "Hey, I just got to tell you, that wasn't Chris. That was me." And she kind of looked at him and she just walked off. She never said, "I apologize." Never went off on him the same way she went off on me. And I processed that for the rest of my time that day at work. And at the end of that same day, I just respectfully wrote an email saying, "Hey, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. I'm still willing to work 2 more weeks, but I can't do this. Is the confirmation that I got to go and do what I have to do."
Look at God. Okay, that's good, Chris. Okay, that is good. So now you going full passion. Don't know what's about to happen.
Don't know clue.
So I know you've been kind of filming weddings here and there, whatever. We gotta get to the story how I met you,
okay, and
then to where you are now, because he ain't charging $50 no more. I can tell you.
Nah, ain't no 50.
So Chris, so when I met you, how old were you?
24, 25. It was right after I left Enterprise.
Okay, so I didn't even realize at the time how new your company was. Okay, so 2013, I had gotten engaged. I was getting married in 2014. And Chris hit me up. You remember you hit me up? Oh my God, I gave Chris hell, y'all.
I remember the whole situation.
So I'm on the radio doing mornings even then. So this wedding is kind of a big deal in the city. And let me tell you, one thing about you is you were not going to take no for an answer. He was going to figure out a way to make this work. You went above and beyond. Like Chris sold me, okay? The one thing that I liked about your company at the time is because it was a one-stop shop. It was, I could get my DJ from you. I could get my sound equipment. I could get photography. I could get video. I could literally get all of these things from you. And I think you made up some stuff and threw some stuff in or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you filmed my wedding, which, I mean, I'm divorced now. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
It still was the most beautiful story. You told the most beautiful. It was, even today, I ain't watched it in forever, but if I watched it now, I would be like, this was beautiful.
Yeah.
And so that video for you meant what?
Man, that was everything. That was everything because there was a lot behind it. One, I'm self-employed now at this point. I'm not from Dallas. So every person I wanted to work with for free wouldn't respond to nothing. If you wasn't from Dallas or wasn't in that circle, they wouldn't messing with you. So I actually had DM'd you before the wedding, and it was somebody was at the radio station. I think it was on Twitter, and I was asking you something about an artist, and you was like, I can't, there ain't nothing I can do for you about that or whatever, which was cool. But then, a lot of the Graham fam ended up working at K104, and we kind of had our little circle of like how we was going to break in the industry, and nothing was working. And then when you got engaged, it was like everybody stopped. There's no way Jade can get married and we're not a part of that. And I just got to get to Jade because at the time, the people that was in my circle, I'm like, she's probably not even going to listen to y'all. And then I'm probably already got some blemishes on me based off of y'all. So somehow I got to get to this wedding. And man, you came to the bridal show, and we planned it all out. It was like, man, when they come, make sure you play this type of music, make sure you're making the experience. And we had you out there like doing the Cupid shuffle and all this cool stuff, man. So you gave us that opportunity to do the wedding. I mean, this was the first time that we had to focus the entire day. But not only when that happened.
That's sad to say. It's the first time we had to be professional
all day. at this particular time. Because,
But you knew what was on the line.
I knew what was on the line. It was either you were going to rise up, or this was the end of you were going back to Enterprise. It was the end of it.
That's true. That's okay. I never thought about it being that big of a deal.
Yeah, because if everyone's, watching, like, well, who filmed the wedding? Why we never saw the video? We didn't see it because the video must have been trash, or, whatever case may be. Oh, the DJ was this. And you got all these high, impactful people watching and being involved. If you didn't say it, somebody else would have said it. Somebody else would have remembered, oh, well, that was probably, I don't want them.
Yeah.
So that was a very important moment, because then right after that, we was able to go to the radio station and talk. And it just taught us a lot. And
what did it teach you? Give me one big thing that taught you in that moment, because that was a big opportunity that, like you said, could have make or break you. And I hate that it was mine, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. It taught me a few things, man. The first thing it taught me was the same level of passion that I had to do your event. I got to have that for every single one of my clients, because looking at your video at the time versus what I had already put out, it was like, if you're capable of producing this for one of the biggest people in Dallas, you should be able to give that same experience to every single bride after you.
So you said it set the standard for your work.
It set the standard. It set the tempo of like, this is where you need to be at. The other thing that it taught me was how hard we work to get your business. That's the same mentality we had to have for everything else that we did. It wasn't this is one wedding. After that, what are you going to do? Because that money only lasts so long.
Yeah. And
then you have to be able to provide that same experience for everybody else. So it definitely changed, I think, the business side of the way I thought of things. It boosted us. It finally gave us the opportunity to work with other people in Dallas, start doing other things. Because in this moment, we're growing a DJ side. We're growing a photography side. There was, at the time, one of my DJs wasn't being booked as much. And then once you gave him a shot and he started doing other events, he's one of the best DJs around. And that's one of the things too, is that we're not focused on clubs. We're not focused on any type of parties like that. It's just weddings, corporate, and high schools.
Y'all going where the money reside. Where it
reside. That's it, man. That's our lane. That's our area. So yeah, that's.
So I do want to say this really fast. Like, I chose your company because you were Black owned, young, and professional. Right. And I didn't know what you were going to do, but it was just something inside of me at that time. And this isn't about me, but I just want you to know your approach and your tenacity and your willingness to like politely push back and like willing to work with me. And like, I don't know what it was, but it was something inside of you that I saw. I'm like, this could really, really be big. right? It was helpful, obviously, for me. You guys helped me out and did an amazing job. But more so on the flip side, it was like, how could I not? I don't know how to explain it. It was just something. So your approach and everything was great. So that was 2014. Now fast forward, we're what, eight? I don't even know, what is it? 8, 9 years later, whatever, 7, 8 years later. How is business now?
Man, that's a whole new ball game.
In a nutshell, are you producing a 6-figure business?
Oh yeah, 6-figure was after your end. 6-figure was 14 or 15.
So now you're a 26-year-old making 6 figures as an entrepreneur at the time. Have you hit 7 figures?
Close. Like,
well, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of ice right now.
Hey, close.
Okay,
very close.
We're there though.
Yes.
So multi-6-figure business, almost 7-figure business. Tell me really, really quickly something that people wouldn't know as far as like how hard it's been. Are there staff turnovers? Is it like, what's the most stressful part about being an entrepreneur?
Man, that's a lot. One of the things is your staff. You have so many different personalities. Some people, they're driven by money. You put money in front of them, they'll do anything for you. Mm-hmm. Some people don't care about money. They just like to have a good time, feel appreciated. Me personally, I'm one of those people where you don't have to have a big party for me. You don't have to celebrate for me. You put an opportunity and money in front of me, we're good. Mm-hmm. But then some people aren't like that. Some people want to just feel appreciated, have different things, and being able to identify who those people are. Mm-hmm. Like there's been times like I'll have like a lunch set up, and in the people who I'm trying to have it for, they won't show up. Mm-hmm. Because they don't care about that. They just want to go make money. Mm-hmm. Then when you have some for other people, or you try to give money to some people, it's like, well, I don't want to work because I'd rather go and party or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Another issue, man, you'll have in time, any job you work at, you don't keep that same crew forever. Any company you work for, you see new people all the time.
But that has to be hurtful, though, in a sense, because I think that everybody has a dream of having this loyal team that's going to go with them all the way.
You have this big dream. You have these big plans. You see their work more than they can see their own. Mm. Anyone who they got a job, but then they're doing this on the side, and they haven't fully trusted themselves yet, so they still hold on. The same person who I used to be. Mm. So now I have to try to bring that out of them. And sometimes it's kind of like you kind of got this balloon and you like, hold on, you ain't going that high, just let's stay right here. And you lead it up, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But some of them will see other success and they want to just shoot straight to the top. They just want to, I got to go.
So they end up jumping ship thinking that they can go off and start their own without you.
They start their own. And it sucks because sometimes this becomes friends. Yeah. And when they become friends, you got to let it go. You don't want to be like the hater. You don't want to be that person. It's like, go ahead, man. And then when you watch their mistakes, part of you is like, do I need to just correct them on what they did wrong? Or do I just let them figure it out on their own?
Yeah.
So, you have those moments that, whatnot. But the good thing is, because of where we are today, I don't have to feel that way with anyone. I let them go off and do their thing. And from time to time, we'll have these conversations, about what went wrong. And it actually makes me a better person because whatever went wrong between us, I need to fix that for whoever's next in line. And some of them stay.
Because you're the leader.
I'm the leader. And I have to make sure that if I'm going to give this body of work to this next person, what can I do for that person to make sure they last a little bit longer, if not until this thing is over with.
Have you ever wanted to quit?
Nah, I can't think of a time I have. I know there's been times where it's been like rough and you just kind of got to just like put your phone on silent and just kind of sit in a room and just think like, man, I've had to refund people before, on things that I couldn't control. But at the end of the day, this is my life and I don't, there's nothing, I'm not going back. So I'm stuck here.
How often are you exhausted?
Every day. every day. But you sleep when you die. So it's just kind of is what it is.
And then how do you balance the exhaustion and getting to a place where you finally take some time off to restore?
Delegate. It took me years. I just started doing that. I delegate. I have somebody.
Why? It took you years. Why? Because you don't trust people?
I don't trust people. No, it's not that I don't trust people. I don't trust people. Let me take that back. I don't trust people. But there's a lot on the line with my company, and it's my baby. If this thing crashed today, I'm the only one that suffers. Everyone else can go back to doing whatever they was doing beforehand. So you have to be very hands-on. But to get to a point where you can start to trust people, it makes it better for everybody.
How do you find staff or a team that you can trust? What is the key to finding a great team?
Let people do what they want to do, and don't force anything. Like if you say, hey, I need somebody to post on social media, but I also need somebody to sell to this client. That's two different people in one role. And you got to identify that somebody who can easily post all day on social media may not be the best social person to be in front of a bride or a high school and selling this product. And if you give somebody too many roles and they burn out or they're doing something that they don't want to do, you find yourself not trusting them. And it's really you. You trusted someone to do something that they didn't want to do. And they should have, that was the sign of that ain't the right person for that. Even if you got to get 10 people to do one job apiece, you can trust them on that. You just got one job. That's like a quote. They would say, you only had one job. That's the truth. When you give that one person
job,
you give that one person 10 jobs. Now we juggling. Now we juggling right there.
Chris, I am so proud of you. Golly, to think that you started a company at 23, 24 years old. And look, I don't even recognize you. He's so iced out today. I was like,
you said we was on camera. I said, let me just a little something slight.
You feel what I'm saying?
A little slight.
Okay, so how do people get in contact with you? Again, this is a multimedia company. I say one-stop shop as far as the entertainment side, the media side. How can they get in touch with you? We got to keep growing this business. We got to hit that 7 figures. You feel what I'm saying?
We got to. Best way to get in contact with me is social media is at Chris Harmon Film. I also have multiple Instagrams for all of our businesses, at Harmland Visions, at Harmland Weddings, at High School Hype, at KD RV Rentals, and at The Great Escape Vintage Car.
Because there's obviously other businesses that we haven't even tapped into, which I have to have you back on then. Because I just heard some stuff that ain't got nothing to do with media.
Yeah, so pandemic created a lot of opportunities, man. That may be another topic for
we're going to have to talk about that.
And then, of course, the websites, harmlandvisions.com, harmlandweddings.com, highschoolhype.com, whichever one of those categories, fits for you. And that's it.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Thank you.
Hit that 7 figures, then let me borrow $5.
Thanks for the support. Make sure you subscribe to the Dash Podcast YouTube channel. Also, we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. And feel free to share with some family and friends. Thanks, guys.